All right, and we're live. So, I want to start out talking about this study guide that I sent out. So, just real quick, the way to read it is these up top are the subjects that the test is going to be covered. It's basically everything from AC Systems to AC Theory Level 3. And then under that, we have question 1 is going to be, it's going to be coming out of AC Systems. It's going to be coming out of Lesson 1, and it's the second learning objective of that, so that kind of gives you an area of the lessons. But it's going to be covering applying basic formulas in analyzing DC circuits. And that's question 1. Then question 2 is vectors, 3 is vectors, 4 we move into lesson 3. There's 2 in lesson 3. We skip lesson 4 entirely. We go to lesson 5, have a couple in lesson 5, have some lesson 6 stuff, and that's it for AC Systems. So the first 9 questions are out of AC Systems. Then we have AC Theory Level 1, it's 10, 11, 12. So that was question 10 all the way through question 22. So there's 12 questions out of that. And then Level 2, which is that AC Theory Level 2 was like the big test that y'all had. And that one actually spans a lot of the stuff. So we'll be spending a lot of time on that today. That'll probably be our 2 o'clock quiz, is the AC Theory Level 2 stuff. And then we move into AC Theory Level 3, which covers some power factor and the stuff that y'all just took a test on. Y'all might actually still have that test with you right now. So that gives you some idea of what is going to be on the test. I linked that in the Discord. You can check those, that or the general tab for that file. Okay, let's talk about vectors. Vectors are lines. They have a magnitude and a direction. We use them now that we're all basically, we've gone through AC theory. We've used them for whenever you're combining things that are at different phase angles. You use vector addition, and it's basically triangles. You're using triangles to combine things together. We didn't really need it all that much for our purposes. You kind of have a handful of things that you use, and once you've learned the handful of things you need to do with vectors, you don't need like the entire knowledge of vectors like we're going to go over. But it is helpful. And the more you know about vectors, the more you can apply in AC theory. Okay. All right, a vector has magnitude and a direction. Which following is not a method that can be used to solve for 2 vectors at right angles to each other. The trapezoid method, not a thing. All right. What is the horizontal component of a 60-degree vector with a magnitude of 120? Okay, so I need to explain this. Give me 1 second to hook this up. Alright. Oh, I moved y'all. Got a little bit of angle on there's my pen. Alright, I need to make a button to open up Paint if I'm going to be doing this much longer. While I open up Paint, let me talk about, so we have talked a little bit about what's going to happen next year. It's going to largely be, there's two ways it could go. There's, hey, we're going to be in person. We're going to have some extra rules in place, but we're going to be in person. And the days are going to go like normal. We might wipe things down at the beginning and end of each day. But that's how it's going to go. The other way is we could be online. We're going to use a program called Cisco Webex. And it can be accessed from your phone, from your computer, from your tablet, whatever. And we are going to have some other systems in place to help us out with that. And it's going to actually be a 10-hour class. Like, I'm going to be in front of a camera for 10 hours. Or, thereabouts. And we are still developing that a little bit more fleshed out, but that's where we're at. So, all that said, let's get back to vectors. What is the horizontal H component of a 60-degree vector with a magnitude of 120? So in this case, we have a vector with a dot and a line. This is 60 degrees, and it has a magnitude of 120. And they're looking for this. So we have sign of happiness. So this would be opposite, and this would be adjacent, and this is your hypotenuse. We've done a lot with vectors, or with triangles and trigonometry already. Kind of going to gloss over this because you should know it by now. Cosine, adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent, opposite over adjacent. And this is of theta, cosine of theta. All right, so the only one with the sides that we want is cosine. So we're going to have cosine of 60 is equal to adjacent, which we don't know, over 120. So we need to solve this to get a by itself. So we're going to multiply by 120. That's going to cancel. That's going to cancel. And this side multiplies by 120 as well. So 120 times the cosine of 60 will give us our answer. Where are you? There you are. So 120 divided by the cosine of 60, which I think is 0.5, gives us 60, or multiplied by the cosine of 60. You saw what I showed. Same thing, but with sine. That'll be 104. Single vector produced from combining two or more vectors is called the resultant. Vectors can be added using the parallelogram method. Okay, so this one, to find the horizontal, you generally use cosine, and to find the vertical, you generally use sine. Is a 20-pound weight a vector or scalar quantity? Is a vector quantity. 5 miles is scalar because it doesn't say a direction or anything, it's just 5 miles. A vector that has the initial point at 0, 0 is in the standard position. So the vector that is at 0, 0 is on the coordinate plane. is what we're talking about. So let's draw. Oh shit. Let's select. Make a quick coordinate plane. So a vector that is at 0, 0 starts here in the center and goes out. So this would start at 0, 0. Your coordinates you read with x and comma y. So this will be x, this will be y. So up and down is y, left and right is x. This will be, if you go to the left, it's negative. If you go, so this side will be negative x, and down here will be negative y. So if you started over here, you would have negative x comma y. So whatever your marks were. So if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, that'd be negative 4, then 1, 2, 3, comma 3. And that's how that goes. All right. Next up is, oh, that was the last one. All right, good job. All right, so that is vectors. And I will put up the next quiz in a minute in the stream here. Feel free to review it at any time.